Yo, what's up guys? Hope you're all doing well. Today I want to talk about how to level as fast as possible in Ashes of Creation. So even though the game's been out for, over a month now, there are still lots of people asking, how do I level fast? Where do I go at level 10? Where do I go at 16? What should I be doing, once I get... Lots of questions of people just feeling a little bit lost on that leveling journey. Maybe you don't want to join the big group farms. Maybe you are looking for other options, or maybe you just want to be in the best spots possible. So that's what I want to talk about today. I've leveled 4 characters this phase, some all the way to Radiant, and then some just like halfway, testing different strategies that aren't just sitting in a big group of 8. And if you're just a normal viewer just clicking on this video and you're considering getting the game, I do have a referral link down below if you want to jump in. That helps me out a ton. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so before we get into the full leveling route, first I just want to go over some tips and some things you might want to know before you start leveling. So the leveling route as well will be based upon the Riverlands, so this area here, and then the desert. So that's the place I've spent almost all of my time. So I've found like some of the best routes here. But if you are looking for something up here, I won't waste any of your time because I won't be talking about this whole, anvils and this sort of area. So leveling. When it comes to leveling, first things first is to understand how the map works. So on the map, these things here, the little diamonds, are points of interest. So if you go to a point of interest, it will likely have, normal mobs. It might have mobs that are 1 star, and that is the difficulty. 1 star is they're going to be harder to defeat, but they will give more XP. Now, when you see these things here, which is it's like a diamond with a little arrow above and below it, this is I guess you could call it a challenging point of interest. And this will have elite mobs that are like 3 star and above. And that is what will give you the best experience. So when you're looking to level, if you're playing solo, if you're playing like duo, trio, you want to be going to these smaller zones. You want to be going like open world and finding little camps and things like that. If you want to play with a big group, which in my opinion is the fastest way to level generally, you want to be going to these things. You want to be going to these big zones here. And generally what you'll do is you'll rock up to them. You'll stand outside. So for example, Oak, you'll stand outside and you would go to this thing here, the Ember Spring. This is like where you revive. You go near it and you will then activate it. So if you fall, if you go down in combat, you can revive here. You would go stand around this, and this is where groups start to form up generally or nearby. And you would say, mage looking for group, tank looking for group. And then also when you're near the zone, you'll be able to turn on the shout chat. So if you see it when you press social, you can see like the shout chat. This is for people nearby. And you can see here, looking for more, once, looking for group. So when you are near the zone, so for example, right now I'm level 21 and I'm in Sunhaven on this character. If I use the shout chat, people will be looking for groups to farm here. If I go up here to like the minnows, I can shout in that area and I'll be looking for a group in the minnow. So that's how you can try and find groups as easy as possible if you weren't aware. You can also use the looking for group channel, but this is like global. So if you're down here looking for a group, it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly where you want to be. So I think shout is easily the best. Okay, let's talk about XP scrolls. This is something that you don't want to forget. If you go onto any market, wherever you are, and you just type in XP, well, you'll get the experience scrolls, and you can see Apprentice Scroll of Adventuring Experience, 10% XP boost, and it lasts for 180 minutes. You can only have 1 scroll at a time, and they persist. Even if you go down, it stays up. You don't have to like reapply it like food. So this is going to give you 180 minutes of permanent leveling buff, and that's like 3-hour buff. If you think that 42 silver is too expensive, they're not all that bad. You can see here, this one's 18. This one's 2 silver, and if you can spare 2 silver, it's a 5% XP boost. It's going to be worth it in the long run. You can make that incredibly easy. Just sell some trash for 2 silver to a random vendor. You're going to get that. It's definitely worth just getting even a basic one before you start leveling. Okay, now let's go through the full leveling route. And then at the end, I'll talk about other ways to level outside of this main leveling route. So I'll talk about like crafting commissions and that kind of thing. So you can skip ahead if you don't care about like actually, the super fast group leveling. So I'll show it on the map and then I'll throw in some footage of what it looks like as well. So basically, to start with, you want to go level 1 to 6. Level 1 to 6 will start at the start. So assuming you're leveling at the start, you would start like down here in Lionhold. You would start in Lionhold and you would get your introduction quest. Your introduction quest will either send you to the left or to the right. You can see this cluster here or this cluster here. It will send you to the left or the right, depending on which person you talk to. It really doesn't matter. It's just a different quest in both zones. I've tried them both. They both take you to around level 5 or 6. They will take you to someone here, they'll take you out to here. So for example, it would take you out to like Briarmore Farms. It would give you a basic quest of how to make a bag, and then it would tell you to go like pick flowers and some really basic stuff. And then similarly, there's one over here which takes you on a little quest as well. Pick up some packages from the roadside, stuff like that. And then once you've done that, that starts to drop off around level 5. I would run it to around level 5. Then from level 5 to 6, do whatever you want. From 5 to 6, you level so incredibly fast, it's not worth me telling you what to do. Go and just like throw fireballs at random wolves. Go and just jump into a pile of goblins and spin around with your sword. Do whatever you want from 5 to 6. Go pick, herbs, mine rocks. Getting from 5 to 6 is incredibly fast. Do whatever you want to get there. The second you hit level 6, what I would do is I would go to a place called Church of the Seven Stars. So if from Lionhold here, and I'll zoom out, Lionhold being your starting zone, you will come out of Lionhold, you will come across here, up here, you will come down, and you'll go to this place here. Emberspring, Church of the Seven Stars. Now, as you come into here, you'll come off this path here, you'll kind of go down here, and the Emberspring is, I believe, like here. You'll grab it here so you can revive literally right outside if you need to. And you'll go into the church, and there's like loads of entrances, and you want to make your way to the top. You want to get to the roof, basically. Go into the main building, there's stairs on the left and right, make your way to the top, and that is where all the groups sit. There are 1-star elites, there are 3-star elites, and there's kind of like, usually there's like 2 groups. On the very top floor, there's like a main group, and that is the best XP. Try and get in that group if you can. Just, if you're a tank or a healer, you're chilling. You should get or a bard, you're getting quite quickly. If you're DPS, you might need to keep, shouting. But while you're doing that, sit just below just below that top floor. There's like another level with a walkway in between, and there's usually a group farming there as well. So that's like the second best XP, I would say. Just join that one, it's fine. And I would stay here from level 6 to level 10. And then I'll say from 10 to 15 is also really, really good XP. You want to come from the Church of the Seven Stars, ride up, or you can either go up and through Lionhold, or you can go up and around Lionhold. And you want to be coming all the way near Mirrorleft. This is the town of Mirrorleft. You want to come in here to Oakenbane Keep. Now, this is probably the best XP slot like in this bracket in the game. It's so good here, because if you have a good tank, you can pull so many of these goblins. These goblins are like 3-star, they give a ton of XP, and if your tank has like a brain, you can pull a really big bunch, and you'll gain like 4 levels in a few hours. It's so fast here. The level 15 to 16 is, you can go like a little bit further to 16 if you want. I normally live at 15, but this is just huge XP. Like I say, grab the Emberspring outside, out for a group at the entrance, and there's like the front zone is like before the bridge is not that good, but noob tanks that are like learning and smaller groups that are trying to like just break in will start there, and then the big groups like the juiced full 8-man groups will sit at the back, and like the healers and the DPS and stuff like the mages and the rangers will sit up on like rocks and stuff, and the tank and the melees will all be down at pulling all the mobs in. Okay, 15 to 17 is easily my worst part of the game. This is, if you're thinking of anything else, like, oh, I think I want to level mining, I think I want to level go do it here. This is the spot to avoid. If you have anything else, commissions, I want to try solo leveling, do it here, because this spot is really rough. My personal opinion would like stay at Oak to 16 if you can. It's going to be slower XP. Try and stay to 16. And if you want to get the fastest, you want to leave Oak at 15, and you want to come all the way over here, all the way to the left side, and over here you've got this zone here called the Remnants of Cephalion. And this is just a giant town of undead monsters, and it's painful. It's really good XP, but it's just hard. It's hard. It's very easy for griefers to like pull mobs on you. It's very easy if the tank is lacking brain cells. They will just stand in mechanics and you'll wipe. And it's really painful, I would say. But if you have a good team, or if you can find a team and they know what they're doing, the game's been out for a month now, on Steam. People are playing much better now. So I would say if you can get a good group here, really good XP, and I would stay here from 15 to 17. Okay, now once you hit level 17, or if you're a bard, a tank, a healer, or you just absolutely lose the will to play the game because this place sucks, and you want to try a little bit earlier, you want to come up to here. You want to come up to SB Bears, and what SB Bears means is Steel Bloom, and you're going to be farming the bears. I'm using these abbreviations because that's what people in game say, so it helps to know what they're called. You want to come here, and it's this big like what would you call this, like a flower type building, and basically I believe it's like here and here. There are, or maybe here and here. This is the one I always go to right here. Basically, you can come in through this entrance here and take a left, and there are these bears, Ursine bears, and you can just pull a bunch of them. They give a ridiculous amount of XP, and the leveling is so good. I would go here from 17 to 19, 16 to 19 if you're a tank, healer, or a bard, and just stay here. You can literally just stand in one room and just pull bear after bear after bear, and the XP flies up. There's also a a big event here, like in the middle, and by being at the bear spawn in the top left, you will also be counted as being at the event. So every, like, I don't know, 20 minutes, you'll get a big chunk of like 30, 40,000 XP. So this is really, really, really good. I think this is really good XP. So this is a great spot. Okay, now once you hit 19, you need to go retire to the desert. So you want to be coming to, like, Mirrorlith is here. You want to follow this like river down and then get to the desert and then head to this town here, Sunhaven's, where I am right now. You want to come to Sunhaven, and in Sunhaven, basically all around Sunhaven, there are a bunch of mobs, and you can probably see them. You can kind of see them. These things here, these little crystal shardling things, level 19, 1-star. There's like a bunch all around here. There's like these scorpions. There's loads of 1 and 2-star monsters all around, and the tank will basically just pull like 3 to 10 of these at a time. He'll ride around, pull a big group of them, stand his ground, tank them all, and you'll just burn them all down. And this is really good XP. Not only is it good XP, but you can see the mobs here are level 20, 19, and 20. So they will start to drop Radiant gear. So you can start farming your Radiant gear. Okay, now from 21 plus, you want to be going to fight really high level monsters, because the fastest way to level is to fight the hardest things possible. And because you've hit 20, you can now wear Radiant gear, which means Radiant gear is like the best gear in the game right now, which means at level 21, you can go and fight like level 25s, 26s, 27 and get really good XP. What I would say is, as soon as you hit 21, stop thinking about your gear and stop thinking about leveling and start thinking about, how can I get a full set of Radiant gear? If you want to go do professions, stop now. Go do a bit of crafting, craft yourself some gear. You can go do some parcels, go do some fishing, go to crates, do some fishing, do whatever, mine and sell the rocks, and get yourself a few gold so you can buy a few pieces of Radiant gear. The cheap stuff on the market is going to be like 20, 30 silver. Some stuff will be like a gold, but try and get a good full set of Radiant gear. If you're a healer or a bard, you can get away with a bit less probably. But if you're a tank or a damage dealer, you're going to want to be in like really good, really good set of Radiant gear, like majority Radiant gear. Anything, just make sure it's Radiant gear. Then here's where we're going to go. First up, you want to come up to here, and around here, you've got like 3 options, I would say. Around here is Minotaurs. These are level, I want to say level 28 Minotaurs. So I tanked them at level 20, completely fine with full cheap Radiant gear. I think I was missing like 2 pieces, but completely fine. So this is a really, really good spot here. It's just full of Minotaurs. They sit in like groups of 4, but you can pull them in 2s. Really good XP, like really, really good, because they're like 8 levels above you, 7 levels above you. You could also go down to Prismarium. So this is like a dungeon down here. You go to the Prismarium, and the monsters here, I want to say they're like 25, but as you go through, there are bosses. So there are 2 or 3 bosses in here. The bosses drop like good gear. So you're going to get more gear here because they're a lower level, so you can get through more of them. And there's bosses. The bosses always drop something. They can drop like crafting materials, recipes. So this is kind of good. I did a couple of levels here. Or you can go to the Nargers, which I think are here. They're kind of, as you come into this zone on the very right, there's like a big corruption event, which I think is this, and you want to be like around here. And as you come down to this zone here, there's like these snake people. It's to the right of the corruption zone. There's these like snake people, and they're 29, I want to say. So they're really, really good XP as well. If that's not right, I'll update it, but I think it's there. But yeah, they're 3 good spots. You can pretty much just stay at the Minnows if you want. You can just farm the dungeon if you want, or you can make the trek over there if you're struggling to find groups. But yeah, that's the desert. Either of those places, or a mix of the 3 if you want to keep it fresh, and that'll take you all the way to 25. That would be my preference of the fastest ways to level. This does not mean it's the best. This, I'm only one person. I haven't played like every single spot in the game. This is just what I have found to be really fast. And the people I talk to, we've tried different things, and together we agree this is probably the best way to go. If you found better, let people know down below. I've heard like crabs. I've heard of some really good spots up here, the goblins and stuff up in the PvP zones. So there's some really, really good other spots. This has just been my personal preference, and I wanted to share it. Okay, now let's talk about stuff that isn't just sitting in a group of 8 farming. So first up, commission boards. Commission boards are really, really good because they give you quests every hour, I believe, and they can be to fight monsters, or they can be to go and bring stuff back, or to gather. And if you go into any town and you zoom in, there's a bunch of commissions, like mayoral ones and town commissions, and you can see there'll be like town commissions when you go on. There's like buy orders and commissions, and you can check all the boards near there. But then there's also the standard boards, and you combine this with leveling on mobs, or you can just do it on its own. So if we come to this one here, this is a monster hunting board. So every time we'll have these, and you can see here, locate and defeat shardlings, crocodiles, scorpions, shardlings, crocodiles, scorpions, shardlings, crocodiles. So you would literally just go, you'd click them all, you'd grab them all like this, you can get every single one, and then you would just go out, defeat them all, come back here, and you can see here what they drop. If you hover over it, rewards. So they will drop a box, they'll drop some glint, and they will give XP. You'll go in journal, you'll scroll down to the bottom, and where it has the commissions that you've just got, so for example, I'm in Sunhaven, these are the Sunhaven commissions, there will just be a complete button when that's done. You don't need to come back to the board to get your reward. But I would do it back in towns when you know the glint's going to be safe. So you can see here, like that's 4,000 XP, that's 5,000 XP, 5,000 XP, and you get a bunch of glint as well. So definitely worth doing. Probably slower than a big group, but if you can combine it with group farming as well, it's even better. Okay, so here we have a gathering board. So you can click it, and you can see here, harvest, agave, fish, pupfish, oasis, mine sandstone, some other fishing, harvest, poppies, all this stuff. Some of them you will have to come bring back and deposit in the box. It will say like bring them back and drop them in the box. So you just add the items and give the items. Some of them, again, you will just go into your quests and you will just click complete. And again, that'll give you a big bunch of rewards. And these again refresh, I think it's every hour. So these are really good ways to level. I don't knock this experience. It really does add up. And if you want to just chill, like I normally avoid the civilian place I told you about, and I just do like 15 to 16 kind of on my own with these commission boards, because it's just kind of chill. It's slower, but it's just chill. You can learn your class a bit better. You can learn your rotation. You can do some gathering along the way. Maybe you want to do hunting or mining. You can just do that on the way, and it's kind of nice. So that's commission boards. Okay, lastly, there is gathering, processing, and crafting, which is really good XP. And I know people who've leveled all the way to endgame just with gathering and crafting and doing all that stuff. So basically, with gathering, you will get experience every time you hit a rock. I can show you, what gathering looks like. Every time you hit a rock, every time you mine, every time you hit a tree, you pick up a flower, you fish, you will get a chunk of XP. You get additional XP if you get a rare item. So if you get like a heroic rock, you'll get more XP. Like, a rare fish, more XP. So you get more XP for the higher quality. And additionally, you can use scrolls to get more XP too, I believe. So this is like not great XP, but it adds up over time. You can also combine it with the gathering commissions. The processing is really good. This is what I would call just like AFK XP. What you do is you would go and process something. So say you wanted to go and process some, let's say you were going to go make some sand. You were going to go crush some basalt into sand. You would take like 200 basalt. You would put, you would go to the processing point for it. You would put into the metalworking station 200 basalt. You buy these from the vendor, the 200 crack shatters. You put those in, and it would just say ready in 3 hours, ready in 4 hours. You'll just come back in like 3 or 4 hours, click collect, and get like 5,000 XP. So this is just like free XP. As if you're doing gathering and crafting, do it while you're leveling, because it's free XP. You can see I've got like this level 10, this level 24. My guy's only level 21, just because it's really good XP along the way. So yeah, this is definitely something I wouldn't sleep on. It's really good. And then finally, you can, if you like crafting, I find it a bit tedious. If you like crafting, you can just stand there and smash your hammer and get like 200 XP, 100 XP per item as you level up slowly. So you can also get XP from crafting. So if you love the professions in this game, there's great XP here. Really good XP here. So you can level this way if you want. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm probably going to wrap it up here. I don't think there's anything else to really say. If you want a guide for like leveling, completely solo, I don't know. I couldn't imagine it. I don't think it's the fastest way to go. The thing I would do is just take commissions. I would take commissions if you want to level solo and just do the commission monsters, because you're going to get the big chunks of XP along the way. I've never tried to fully solo grind all the way to max level. I feel like it would be, I've done the odd level completely solo, and it's felt so much slower. So I feel like I'd be doing you a disservice if I gave you a leveling guide on how to level really slow. If you have a class that's really good solo and you found a really good route, let people know. I personally haven't found anything solo that even comes close to these big group zones. But yeah, that's just been my experience. Everyone else will be different. So I'm happy to hear what you guys think. But thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I say, if you're new and you just like randomly caught this video and you found it interesting and you're thinking about the game, I do have a link down below if you want to join with a referral. That helps me out a ton. But thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.